What's up, beautiful people? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and welcome to another reading vlog. I just finished filming my TBR slash March wrap up, my April TBR slash March wrap up video. So that one should already be out by the time this video is. We are going to be doing a new releases reading vlog. So, 3 books. 3 new releases we'll be reading this vlog. The first one is Just Stab Me by Jill Barup. This is a kind of meta fantasy novel about a writer who is trying to make this epic romantasy, like historical romance book, and her character and just like how those two stories are interweaving. It sounded super interesting. I saw it on a list and hadn't seen many people talking about it, so I really wanted to pick it up. So I did grab a copy, and I'll probably be reading this first because I am so interested to read this one. Plus, in our tarot card TBR, this was the first book selected, so why not go with this? And this one was released in the month of February. Next book on our list is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I feel like I don't need to say much about this one. It's got werewolves and vampires, and I've never read a Hallie? I just put her name together. I never read an Ali Hazelwood book because I'm not really into too much contemporary romance, but when I saw she put out a paranormal romance, I decided to give the lady a try. Most people I've seen have really enjoyed this book. I have seen a couple of people who didn't enjoy it too much. So we'll see where I land with this. This one came out in January of 2024, and I've seen all the girlies reading it, so I'm excited to jump on said bandwagon and give her a go. And then finally, the third book that we will be reading in our new releases reading vlog is Fathomfolk by Eliza Chan. So this book is actually the book I got from Illumicrate. So pretty, so pretty. But the synopsis of this book is that there is a half siren named Mira who is promoted to the captain of the border guard, meaning she has the opportunity to help her downtrodden people. But everything she works for is put in jeopardy when Nami and know-it-all water dragon Fathomfolk royalty is exiled to the city, and then there seem to be extremists that sabotage the annual boat race, and then there's violence, and there seems to be a clampdown on the Fathomfolk, and so now they have to decide if change is worth the price. So it's a fantasy debut. It came out in February. I've seen some mixed reviews on this, but I'm excited to give it a try. I actually did an unboxing of the Illumicrate box and all of the goodies that came with it. So before we jump into the actual reading of this, let's jump back in time and open the box together, shall we? Let's do it. Why did I do that? You can't even see me. Come back. As you can see, here I have gotten my very first Illumicrate box, and I am so excited. I thought it might be fun to open this bad boy up with you. The box from March, but the theme was fantasy. And the theme for April is magic versus science, and apparently it's gonna be a young adult novel. So in this little box, it has like this little leaflet that tells you all the different items are in here. We got sticky notes. We got a Kraken in the Deep book jacket. Oh, it's for the Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, which I'm reading on audiobook right now, but I'm really enjoying it, so I do want to get a copy, so it's fun that I'd have a cool book jacket for it later. And we also have a plant pot and then a book pot, a mythical creature book pot. And then I think most people have seen it now that the Illumicrate book for March is Fathom Folk, which I am interested to read. I've seen that some people have had mixed reviews, but I'm interested in reading it. Mixed reviews don't really prevent me from reading anything, so not a big deal. But okay, so this is the plant pot. Well, the box of the plant pot. So let's check this out first. So it looks like the box. It's got like a selkie on there. And it's got mer people, fishies, some jellyfish. Yeah. It says it's a plant pot. I feel like you could use this for crafts and things like that. It doesn't have any drainage. So I don't know much about plants, so perhaps don't ask me about that. Next, let's see. Cute! And then it says at the back, tales from the deepest depths of the ocean. Cute! I like it a lot. Look at that. Oh, Beautimus right there. Let's see. It says like your magic is wonderful. I'll remember you. And this is from Beneath the Waves. I don't know. But it's kind of oh, they're like translucent. Oh, that's cool. So you could like use it in your books if you wanted to write in your books, but then still be able to see the text. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And this one is the Amina Al-Sarafi one. Oh, how nice. Oh, do I have... This is definitely for like a hardcover. It's pretty large. But you could even, I feel like you could definitely put your, if you had like a journal or something, this would be a good size for it as well. Very pretty. All right, and finally, the book, Fathom Folk. And this is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. It's got a wrap on it, so let me take it off here. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Here we are. I know, we're on the floor again. I don't have a lot of great places to film. So you'll see we have the Fathom Folk. It's got like this embossed gold all along here. Again, we'll get a look at these sprayed edges again. Gorgeous. Like, just gorgeous. Yes, ma'am. We got the back similar here with that embossed gold on this. You can tell we definitely are going with more of an East Asian flavor when it comes to this fiction, which is fun. And look how beautiful. So we've got some illustrations in here. Hold on, let me see. They tell you about the exclusive. So the exclusive cover is done by Tropical Gloom. The full color printing on the case and digitally printed forged edge are from danliz_art, which I'll go ahead and put the links to all this. But just to read you what this book is about, why we are looking at all of this lovely artwork, I'm going to take this dust jacket off so you can see. Look at this. Actually, maybe I won't read it to you because I was going to do a new releases book, and this is a debut novel and new release. So I feel like maybe I'll save that full... Oh, pretty. Look how pretty. I almost like this better than the dust jacket, I'm not gonna lie. So this is a debut novel, and we also got these like merfolk going on in here. And then even in the front, it looks like she's a Scottish-born Chinese diaspora author. And so she writes about Asian mythology, British folklore, and reclaiming the dragon lady, but preferably all three at once. So super cute. I'm excited. This looks great. This looks right up my alley. Hello. I'm sure the fridge is making noise, so I apologize, but we are here in the kitchen. I just finished cooking up some chorizo, ground chorizo for our little like taco situation for the dinners tonight. I have volunteering today. So I did cooking earlier, but I wanted to check in because we have started our first book in our new release little vlog, and that is Just Stab Me Now by Jill Burrup. And I realized that she's a YouTuber, which I think I might have seen in a blurb and like had mentioned that I saw that, and she has some kind of series that I guess inspired this book, but I've never seen her YouTube, never seen this series or anything like that, so I really can't speak to any of that. I can just speak to the book that I am currently reading, and it's fun. It is fun. It is really like its premise, so we are getting the story of that our main character Caroline is writing, and really we get a lot of time in that story, so we're following her main character Rosamund and her love interest Captain Collins and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, if you are someone who likes like romantasy, it is pretty funny to kind of see Carolyn like pop in randomly and try to like switch the story around to be more of what she thinks this story should be, for it to be marketed to her audience, and just kind of like the characters reacting to her is pretty funny. I think that the style of which it's written, so because she's like popping in the middle of the story, there's like a change in font, and it takes a little while, I feel like, as a reader to really adjust to making sure you understand like who, what, where, what we're doing. And we are like flipping through a lot of point of views in this book, which, you know, is fine. Like, I've gotten used to it. I am enjoying like the little actual story that she's writing. I think the characters in there are pretty fun. I think we'll start to get more of what's going on with our author in this story. I hope, because I'm a little interested in that aspect and I wanted to see it a little more balanced. So I don't know if we're going to be like story heavy, like the author's story and character heavy in the beginning, and kind of like float a little more to sharing Caroline's story. But it's been fun thus far. I've had some enjoyable moments with it. I'm thinking right now it's probably sitting at like a 3 or a 3.5. I don't know, like what, a 3-star is like, you know, we had a good time. So I'm just having a good time. That's really all I can say about it. I wouldn't say like, I could see how this video series, like translating it, is difficult in writing, and I feel like it was probably a bit of a challenge, especially if this is a debut for a writer, to nail that down and make it easy for the readers and for it not to like pull them out of the writing every once in a while. All right, let's get packed up and let's go, friends. Yay. Hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. You can't see it quite from your angle, but I have made quite the mess. And let me tell you why. Sorry for the chaos. You can't see the chaos, fortunately, but you'll see it later. So, the reason for the chaos is I just discovered a readathon that I didn't know about until today, thanks to Just Be a Weird, where you can find, I will link her down below, but it is a readathon where you follow a journey. It's called the Magical Readathon of Aurelium, and that's like Aurelium Academy, and so you make your own character sheet and you follow prompts, which I'm doing the novice path because obviously I haven't done this before, but you follow prompts and therefore you go through that, and then once you complete all those prompts you get like points, just like XP points in video games or in D&D, and then you move up in the ranks of a guild and you get sorted into a guild at the academy. And when I found out this was happening this month, the month of April, I jumped at it. So, with that in mind, I wanted to quickly wrap up the first book that we've read in the month of April, which is not going to count for that readathon, but still count for our TBR that we picked out with the tarot cards, and that was Just Stab Me Now. Last time I checked in with you, I was saying that I was having a good time. It wasn't anything like life-changing. I didn't think it was gonna be a new favorite, but it was fun, and honestly I think we kind of fell on that. I gave it a 3.5 only because I thought that the trajectory of the story we were following with the fictional, quote-unquote fictional characters was pretty fun, and I think the 0.5 literally just goes to the character of Robin because I thoroughly enjoyed him. I thought he brought some levity to the story and made it really fun. I think the thing that I found kind of surprising and maybe didn't like hit home the connection between the author and her characters was that we didn't get that much of the author's story. I felt like that was more of like story B, but I feel like it should have been story A because that was the real life character, whereas like we really followed the fictional characters a lot more. And at that point I was kind of like, well, perhaps we should have just written that book, I guess. But I understand this was based off of that short series, so I don't know if that's just how the series was, but overall, yeah, it was a quick read. I finished it last night, so we finished it within 2 days. That's really all I have to say about it, you know, if that's it. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I was really excited by the premise of this, but like I said, I just don't really feel like it hit for me, like the emotional beats of the characters coming to conclusions and the author kind of connecting that with her real life. I didn't feel like we had enough of the author's life and emotions to really make that connection sink in. And I'm not sure how, I mean, it was a pretty challenging kind of idea to write this as a story, so I'm not really sure how you would change that to make it click, but I just don't feel like it quite did for me in this story. But with that in mind, we are going to be moving on to, I have books everywhere at the moment. Here she is. We will be moving on to Bride next, so that will be our next book. I'm going to see how possibly this might fit in to our newest readathon that we're going to be participating with this month, but once I start reading on it, I will come back to you and give you some initial thoughts. I am hoping to really like this one. The last 2 people I see who read it didn't quite enjoy it, and then I forgot, somebody else though really thought, like, gave it like 5 stars. So I'm hoping I will fall somewhere in that vein, but we'll see. All right. Good morning, my dear friends. I haven't been in the bathroom in a while, but here we are. So, excuse me. As you can see, we are here, just waking up, clearly, a little late, because I decided to binge read a very large portion of Bride last night. Dance music. Anyway. Yeah, so we are about 60% of the way through Bride. And I will say for Miss Hazelwood, her books are definitely chronically readable. Like, you can just right through the books. Don't know what that's supposed to be, but that's where we're at. But I think that as someone who grew up reading paranormal romance, I think this is more of a romance. Like, this is still more of a contemporary romance. I do really like her idea for vampires and werewolves. I really found the whole idea that it's just like basically they took some different evolutionary paths than humans did and ended up with these different species, opposed to it being that there's some kind of supernatural element to it. So I did think that was pretty different, and I liked that. I really did. And I like the characters in there. I think they're all sweet and kind of quirky. I like Lo and Misery, who I keep wanting to call Mercy because I've read I was somebody who read Patricia Briggs books back in the day, and Mercy is the name of her character, so I keep getting confused. But Misery, I think they're both cute characters. I think formulate this in my head, but I feel like the reason I don't quite enjoy romances in a romance heavy book is we already kind of know what we're doing, and I feel like it takes some of the tension out, or like the build up, and maybe I've just not read a romance book where I feel like the tension has been really there. I don't know, like, I think it's just because, like, Misery is obviously blindly unaware to the fact that she is, spoilers, just put spoilers, but I think Misery is she's very unaware that she's the mate in question, and it's pretty blatant. Like, all of the pieces are there, and they've been there. And I think for a reader, I probably would have enjoyed the tension more if I didn't know in the background that she was his mate. Like, if I was not in on it against Misery, I feel like maybe, maybe a little bit before she figures it out, but like, we know from the get-go, pretty much. I think they told us, unless I was just like, oh. Maybe it's just because I am a paranormal romance reader, so I was like, oh, well, duh. But, I mean, it's blatant. Saying like, oh, they don't understand each other's culture and blah, 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 but I mean, come on. I really, really wanted to like this book a lot more than I am. And I do see why people like Ali Hazelwood. I want to say that, like, right now, me talking about this, as this being my first Ali Hazelwood, I do really see why they like her, because I think she's a very talented writer. I don't think that there's anything particularly wrong with, like, her books are chronically readable. This book is chronically readable. I have no qualms about her writing style. I think she's very talented. I think that I'm not vibing with the choice of us as an audience knowing about like this attraction so blatantly and Misery just kind of being in the dark, but being attracted to him. I just feel like I would have liked a little more subtlety with it, I think. But we've just chatted for 12 minutes and I am trying to get out of the house. And I have to brush my teeth so I can talk to you while I do that. But let's do that and we'll get back to it. So while we're washing our face, where we're going is I need to go get some jazz dance shoes because I'm going to be doing a musical theater number for the summer showcase. And I tried to do it without jazz shoes and that was horrendous. So we're going to remedy that. And then I've really been craving, there's a Yemenis coffee shop in the Dallas area. It's called Arwa. And they have delicious teas and coffees. And they have like this little sampler platter that I wanted to get. But when we went on the weekend, it was super, super busy, which is great. Fantastic. But I really wanted that and there weren't like seats, so we didn't. And so I keep seeing it pop up on my Instagram. And it's kind of in that direction of where I need to go to get the shoes. So I figured I'd go down there first and then hit the shoes and come back. And I do need to stop by Target as well. But I also thought, since I've been wanting to head down there too, because I've been listening to The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, which I want to pick up the physical copy. Now, Book of the Month is doing like a deal where you can get your first book for $5. But I kind of like, I don't know. Ooh, I've got a fuzz up on my eye. Somebody tell me, Book of the Month people, please, how much of that profit goes to the author? I mean, I guess I already bought the audiobook, so I suppose that I have already given her my money. So I'm buying a second one. For a discounted price wouldn't be too bad. But I'm really, really enjoying this book. It's taken me a while to get through it because audiobooks aren't my favorite mode of reading. I'm still trying to get used to them because I feel like sometimes they take too long. But I need to get more into them because I have other things that I need to do besides reading, and I cannot continue this pattern of staying up till like 2, 3 in the morning and then waking up at noon, because eventually I'm going to find a new job and have to be an adult again and get up at normal times. So the reason I was bringing that book up, even though it's not on new release and not part of this video, but I've also been thinking of going back down there because a good portion of that book takes place in Yemen. And so I was like, oh, I really wish I would have been reading this at Arwa. Because I just felt like, what a vibe that would be. Like, how often do you find a coffee shop that's really vibing with your book like that? And it's delicious. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up because I should get going, and I've been talking for like almost 30 minutes, so I'll see you, and I'm getting hungry. Hello. It's been a couple days since we last checked in, since we talked about Bride. Last time we chatted, we were about 60% of the way through the book, and as of 2 days ago, as of like Friday night, we have finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood. And I ended up giving this book a 3.75, which was kind of where I thought things were going when we last spoke. So the thing that, okay, so I will put a text up. I will put a sign up that says spoilers when I jump into them. But I think the thing for me that I was lacking, I think the thing about this book is I was expecting more paranormal intrigue and more of the political structures and the hierarchy and more world building that was in here. Not to say that I didn't think she did a great job with still having a story that I feel like was primarily romance, but I think I was going into it expecting a little more and expecting it to be darker, because that's kind of paranormal romance that I'm used to reading, and that's just not what this book is, which is totally fine. I thought the characters were cute. I love the found family aspect, but I didn't feel like with some of the reveals at the end that I was shocked or like, oh, that was such a good twist or anything like that. And as I mentioned, I'm gonna put this up here now, I did not enjoy that Misery did not catch on to that she was Lo's mate until like 80% of the way through, even though it's very, very obvious for the rest of us reading it, or at least for me. I did not like that. And then I think in addition to that, I do not like the mate trope. I don't think that's for me. I don't find it to be romantic, because yes, everybody, you know, yes, you have attraction to somebody, but the idea that this person cannot resist you due to some biological, magical connection just doesn't do it for me. I will say I had the same thoughts, and probably the reason that I put down the series of the ACOTAR series was with the whole mate thing as well. Once that started coming into play, I was like, I don't know. It's just not for me. And so I think that kind of marred a lot of the book for me. Maybe I would have liked it more if it wasn't that situation. I also think I will not be picking up the second book either, because in the epilogue there were hints to things. Again, that's me doing the spoiler sign for Editing Victoria. Again, in the epilogue, we get another like hint of what the companion book will be for this series, and it seems like we're gonna have another mating trope book, and I'm just not into that. I thought perhaps if the companion series was gonna be about Misery's brother, that I might be a little bit more interested in it, get to see more of the vampire side of things as they're kind of rebuilding after everything that's going on and understanding their world a little better. But I guess that's not what we're getting. So I would have been a little more inclined to want to pick up a companion and give it another shot if that were the case, but it's not. So this will probably be my first and last Ali Hazelwood. Not that I don't think, I mentioned it before, I do think Ali Hazelwood seems to be a good writer. I thought her characters were very cute in here, and you know, it was a quick read. I was able to get through it pretty fast, and I had an enjoyable time, at least with like the reading experience of the writing. Like I wasn't getting kind of caught up on things, but I'm just not sure that romance alone, like standalone contemporary romances, are for me, like some of her other works. And unfortunately, since this world didn't quite do it for me, I just don't see myself picking up the next one again, especially because it looks like we're gonna be getting another book that focuses around the whole like mating trope idea, and I just don't want to. So that is a wrap for our second of our 3 new releases that we are reading in this vlog. So now we're heading on to another one. I took the book sleeve off of this because I don't really like to read with book sleeves, so I went ahead and tucked it away for now. But this is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chen, and I put this in the little book jacket that came with the Illumicrate to protect the very pretty cover. So I haven't started reading this yet, but I am going to start reading it today. So hopefully I can have it done and we can get this vlog edited and up by next week. So it is Sunday today, so we have 1 week to read and edit. Read, film, edit this vlog and get it up on Sunday. So I'm hoping to get that done, especially because we're going to the Ren Fair next Sunday, so I want to have it done by like Saturday or Friday preferably. I don't know, I'm a little nervous because our first book, Just Stab Me Now, was 3.5. Our second book here, Bride, was 3.75, and Fathom Focus had a lot of mixed reviews, so I'm a little nervous that this is just going to be kind of a meh reading experience for me, but that is a-okay. So that is our reading update. I did get 2 things that I thought I would open with you, because would it be a Victoria vlog if we did not open a couple of subscription boxes and share them with you? So we did get our Magic Coffee box, our Many Taverns, Many Worlds Taverns box. So I thought we would see what's inside. Ooh, they've been doing some really pretty dice. These ones are like blue and sparkly and purple. Ooh, I like these ones. They've been having some really pretty ones lately. That's exciting. And then the item. So our coffee for the month is, so it's from Kenya. It is a medium roast, and then the area that we have in here. So this is a crater wood. Central to the desert continent of Kirazira lies a 12-mile-wide crater full of fertile soil and with such a density of trees and wildlife that those within might never realize a hostile desert waits beyond their tree line. No one knows how the crater wood got there, nor has anyone seen the wildlife within it anywhere else. The one thing people do know, however, is that the gargantuan sand-dwelling predators of the desert are unable to enter the crater wood, kept at bay by something or someone. Very interesting. We got our sticker of crater wood that we'll add to the iPad. And then we have the Farmer's Secret. It is a sickle, and this simple worn tool looks completely typical of something one might find in a farmer's shed. While attuned, you gain +2 to attack and damage rolls with this sickle. Once per day, you may use the sickle to plant growth or turn plants as described below. The sickle can be used once for each ability and regains uses each day at dawn. So turn plants as an action, you present this weapon and speak a command word to assail plant creatures. Each plant creature within 30 feet of you must make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. And then a turned creature must spend its turns trying to move far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its actions, it can use only the dash action or try to escape from the effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action. In addition, any plant creature of a CR2 or below that fails its saving throw against this feature is automatically destroyed. So that is that one. Now, if you didn't know, which I'm sure you do, Beyonce released a new album called Cowboy Carter. And I love it so much. And Spotify was doing a cool little deal here, or was advertising, I guess. And I picked up, ooh, okay, so let's see what's in here. Look how stinking cute this shirt is. And we got, says that Cowboy Carter Act 2. And then it comes with, of course, this is probably the first CD I've bought in a while, but the shirt came with it, so it was a really cool deal, and I thought this shirt was so cute. I'm so excited to wear it. Okay, well that's it. That's all I had to update you on. Thought I would share a little unboxing with you and let you know my last thoughts of Bride. Here's hoping that I am not like some of the other people leaving reviews for Fathom Folk and I have a grand old time in this watery fantasy. That sounds weird. In this water city fantasy? Nautical fantasy? You get me. Okay. Check in later. I can't get them. They're too far. We don't like the eclipse. It's not for us. We don't want it. What is this duck doing? This duck is the biggest goober, I have to say. The lens on his camera. Is that even a camera? It's more like a telescope, right? Hello, hello, hello. It has been a couple days since we've checked in for this vlog. And I have some bad news. I have some bad news. So if you remember, our final book in this Reading New Releases vlogs was Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan, and I did start reading Fathom Folk. I'm about 60 or so pages into the book, and I have decided to go ahead and DNF that book for now. I will say for now, because I'm not sure that I'm going to like not pick it up again. I just was reading it and had no desire to read it. I just really didn't want to. That just wasn't pulling me in. I didn't find any connection with the main characters of the story. There's multiple perspectives. So I just haven't really connected with either of the main characters. So we have Mira, she's a half siren who lives in the city of Tiankawi. I feel like it's kind of a combination of like Chinese and Japanese combination, I feel like, of languages put together. But so she lives in the city. She has just been promoted to captain of this kind of like city guard type of organization called the Chinth, and she feels a bit like a figurehead because she wanted to join other ranks, but really this was the only one that they allowed like fathomfolk to join. And so we start off hearing about her promotion, and we meet her boyfriend, who is a water dragon. He is from a city of the fathomfolk, but he's kind of really like the diplomatic liaison to Tiankawi. And there's some other things going on. We're also getting a perspective of this woman named Serena, who has she's like part of a noble family. She like married into a noble family. Her husband is in like charge of the guards, and so she is familiar with Mira. But there seems to be something about her that's a little different, which I don't know yet. And she has a son and a daughter. And then we have Nami, who is the younger sister of Mira's boyfriend. So she's also a water dragon, and she's kind of like against the relationship that they've developed after this war and wants to reclaim things for the fathomfolk peoples. And she gets exiled to Tiankawi after like trying to do this heist that fails. But honestly, like, I don't know. I think the world is interesting, and I do think I want to give it a full shot. I just think maybe I'm not in the mood for it right now. I don't think the writing is particularly like grabbing me at this point in time. And then I saw we were getting another perspective from an additional character. And I don't mind multiple perspectives, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like I really got anything deep about some of the characters from these perspectives that it really like keyed me into anything. So when I'm not feeling instantly attached to the character, kind of motivated to read them, then like I don't want to like move to another character, because then I'm just like bouncing around and not really figuring out what's going to make me interested in keeping up with the story. So I've decided to DNF it for now, which I guess makes this whole vlog kind of a fail, because just stab me now. I gave a 3.5. I gave Bride a 3.75, and now fathomfolk is a DNFF for now, a DNF for now. So not the most successful reading vlog I've ever had. My first new release vlog, not super successful, but I did finally finish The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by S.A. Chakraborty, and I listened to that in audiobook, and it was absolutely fantastic. 5 stars all the way. I am so looking forward to the next 2 books in that series whenever they do come out. I also want to go ahead and read City of Brass at some point, read her other series that she put out before this one, because I really do enjoy the world that she's building and the historical references and the characters that she has in the story. So that was a great win. I also read through audiobook. I also listened to I'm Glad My Mother Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which was a heavy read, but I did enjoy it. I didn't rate it. I think someone else said they don't really rate memoirs, and I feel like that's what I'm going to say too. I didn't rate it because it's, you know, it's hard to rate somebody's personal experience like that. But I did really find it to be very good. I listened to it one sitting. It was a very short audiobook, and I am hoping that she is, you know, living a much better life now, and that things are getting a lot better for her, considering. But yeah, so not the most successful vlog I've ever made, not the most successful reading vlog we've ever done, but I am going to go ahead and wrap the vlog up here. If you have any new release suggestions that you think I would like a little more than the ones I read in this vlog, feel free to drop them down in the comments. And if you feel like sticking around for some more bookish and nerdish content, feel free to subscribe. I upload every Sunday and sometimes on Wednesdays. And until next time, I hope you read a good book, I hope you find some joy, and most importantly, I hope you do something to make the world a better place, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!